was a little bit further than what I'd like to be. Okay, so you see where you have your hanging hole. This is where we are going to add a zip tie, but you are going to want to make sure, and I'm doing this after just because, sorry, this one, like I said, the spaces in between these holes are a little wonky. If you can see, it has like the little white pieces. I don't know why. Okay, so you're just going to make sure that your hanging twine is not in the way when you zip tie. Okay, so we're going to pull that tight, and then you are going to take your lemongrass and we are going to put it maybe about, let's see where that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe about 6 inches down. So you're going to go in between the 7 and the 5. Okay, and it's going to rest right there. You can even cut this if you'd like. You know what, let's just cut that. This way it's not harboring your other ones. Now this is a thick stem, so it's going to take a little bit of work. Ooh, okay. Okay, so then we're not going to put it 6 inches in. We are going to do maybe about 3. Okay, so then you're going to take that. You're just going to zip tie. These zip ties are very smooth. You're going to zip tie it straight through, and you're going to leave the head right to the front, or you could put it to the side. We're not going to be using this hole again. Okay, so there you go. You have the first part, and these can always be adjustable. They're wired, so it's not just going to stick straight. Okay, so then we're going to take our first petal, and with our factory edge, either side that you did it, you're either going to start with your factory edge on the right side or the left side. My factory edges are all on the left side, so we're going to put it in our first hole. Then you're going to put it in maybe about 1 inch, and you're just going to rock your zip tie back and forth until you get it nice and tight, and then you're just going to trim it off. And we're going to go to the next hole. Same thing. Why am I throwing these in here? Okay, let me just get my garbage out. Okay, then we are going, and you can always adjust them as you go or when you're completely done putting your petals in. You're going to make sure you want them nice and tight, because once it's hanging, you don't want any of your petals falling out. Almost did it again. Okay, and look, we're going to make sure all of our seams are going all in the same way. And we're just going to keep adding our petals. Now, a great way to know if you're lining up your petals is when you put in your you put in your first one and you put your second one. You can check the tips. You push it down, check the tips to see if they're lining up. If not, then you have to pull a little bit higher up. And then see how this one is curling here? We can deal with that when we're done. I mean, the bow won't even show it, but if it bothers you, let me get this out. See how this one is going like that? I don't want that. So that means that I have to adjust my rubber band. So all I'm doing is just hold that piece down. And then once I get it in, I can readjust it again to pull it from the rubber band. Come on. There we go. And last one. Okay. So this is what it will look like so far. Okay. So then the next thing we are going to do is grab your boxwood, and then I will show you what we're going to do next. Let me get this out of the way. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut all these stems off. Now you should have 5 stems. We are only going to use 4 for this part, because you can add more if you'd like. You can either keep that or throw it away. It's your choice. Okay, so these are all fan them out. It's all wired and whatever that little, whatever you call this kind of plastic. I don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take 2 of my stems. You don't even have to do this part yet. You can open it when you attach it to your board. Okay, so we have 4 here. We have 2 and 2. So what we are going to do is we are going to overlap them, and this is what it's going to look like, just like this. But we need our board, because what we are trying to do is we are trying to hide this very top row. So what we're going to do is we'll take it apart again. And you can cut these as you'll see. Okay, so what we are going to do is we want to camouflage. So the middle we're not worried about so much, because we're gonna put our messy bow there to hide it. So we want to just make sure that these 4 are getting covered. So on mine, I have to push mine a little bit further together. So I'm going to have to cut off a little bit more. And I don't want it to go flying, because it usually does. Yep, I don't know where it went. We're going to do that to all 4 of them. Oh, that one just ricocheted. Okay. That should be somewhere in there. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So let's see. This is perfect. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is you are going to get another one of your zip ties and you are going to zip tie this together exactly at the point that you need it to be. Okay. So it's going to look just like this. Okay. Now it doesn't matter what side the zip tie head is on. Okay. All right, sweet. And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take another zip tie. This middle hole is going to get run for its money. So you're just going to put your zip tie down through. Let's see. Down through and up the back, making sure that your hanging twine is not in the way. Okay. So for this, you see how this is just like this? This one, you're going to go one to the back, one to the front. You're going to make sure that everything is even. Let me stand up and make sure, because we don't want it lopsided. Perfect. And the same thing, you're just going to zip tie it together. Cut that off. And we are going to adjust. Okay. Now, the reason why we don't use our 5th stem is because we can always cut them. If you have like a little hole or something that you don't like, you can always cut these little pieces off and stick them in there with either some hot glue, or you can take a what is this, the pipe cleaner, and you can wrap it around it really tight. I would use a green one in that case, if you have a green pipe cleaner, just because you might see the white poking through. I'm sorry, I dropped my shirt. So that's that step. Okay, now the next step, and I'm not even messing with this right now just because it doesn't need it until I actually put my ribbons on. So we're going to put this to the side, and you're going to take your ribbons. Where did I put mine? Okay, so these are the 3 that I'm going to use. I'm going to use a green, a white, and a burlap. So now what I like to do is I like to start with my 2.5. Now I'm not making a bow with like the bow ties. I am just doing a messy bow. I think that's what you call it. I am going to do mine at 10 inches. Okay. So we are going to do 2 pieces of this. Like I said, mine is going to be super simple. Okay, and what you're going to do is you are going to fold that in half. And then half again, but don't put the crease down the side. And then you are going to cut like at an angle, and that's called a dovetail. So you're going to do that to all 6 of your petals, not your petals, your tails. All 6 of your ribbon, pieces of your ribbon. Okay, so I'm going to cut 2 more of my green, and I'm going to cut 2 more of my white. Okay, so once you have all of your ribbons tailed and tailed and cut, you're going to lay them out. Stay straight. Okay. Now what I like to do when I start my messy bow is I always like to start off with a 2.5. So my 2.5 is going to go first. Then I am going to layer it the way I choose to, the way I like it. So what I tend to do is I tend to see how the tips are matching. I tend to do that as my starting point, where they they touch, the sides touch down here. They don't have to touch the exact same point, but I like for the edges to touch. So then it's um flat one going across, then we're going to do one diagonal, then we're going to do the next diagonal. Okay, just like that. You can see it. And then since this pattern is going that way, I'm going to take my bunny pattern and put it facing the other way. So then that's going to go, depending on how many ribbons you have, you want to do it across, diagonal, diagonal. If you have more ribbons, you can keep, but you want to do across, diagonal, diagonal, across, diagonal, diagonal. So you just keep layering. Okay, so then we will do, I'm going to go this way because I want the green to be on both sides. Well, no, I don't, because I don't want it to cover my white. Do I like it that way? Now see, nope, I don't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the white over the green, and then the green over the white. Do I like that? Or do I want the white on top? See, it all depends on what you like. This is for you, or if you are making it for a customer, you do it, you ask them, hey, how would you like it? Okay, so then the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to keep mine just like this. We're going to take our pipe cleaner, because this is how we're going to attach it to our board. We are going to lay this flat. We are going to put our ribbon right on top of it, making sure that it's in the middle. We are going to take our handy dandy zip tie, flip it over, put our zip tie down, try to get our center. Do it till we just hear that. Okay, lay that. This is how I like to do my messy bows. So if you have a different way of wanting to do it, you can. So then all I do is I take my center and I crinkle it up to just like a bow tie. And then I give my messy bow zip tie a twist, and I always make sure that I keep the head in the back because we don't want that showing. And then I cut it. If I have the hand strength, my hand is killing me today. But that's what it's gonna look like. Nothing fancy, nothing. Okay, then what I like to do is I like to wrap my zip tie just a couple of times, 2 times. We get our, oh geez, I almost just dropped it all. We get our, what is this called? A carrot. Oh geez. Okay, so we are going to utilize that center again. So let's see if I can get you a little bit closer. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put the 2 on either end, making sure that I'm keeping my twine for my hanger out of the way. Okay, this is going to come straight up. We're going to try to get it as tight as we can. And I like to, when I twist them, I like to try to do it to either side of the hole, one of the holes. And then just keep twisting it up. You don't have to do it all the way. I cut it to maybe about there, because then what I do is I take it and I hang it. I never hot glue these, just because you might get tired of the ribbon, or you might want to put a different ribbon. So okay, so there we go. Now look, that is all hidden. And then guess what? This is the fun part. This is where you adjust your ribbons. See how sweet and simple this is? So simple, so sweet. Okay, now for the class, I had, what did I have? I had put out a few of these, and some people added these to the center of their bow. There was, I had these little picks there. I don't think anybody used those. There was quite a few things that you can put in the center. I think I had Easter eggs as well that you could put, but I think it's this part is simple and sweet. So I don't really want to add anything to mine. I kind of like it the way it is. We got all of our everything hidden. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to hang it, and I'll show you how it looks. Okay, so this is how it looks hung, and I just love it. You can, what I did with the lemongrass is all I did was pull it. I only have one hand now. I just pulled them and made them a little bit wider, so it looks like it's actually coming up. See how I have that little tip right there? All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna adjust my ribbon. And there it is. I love it. Short and sweet and easy. And she is cute. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. And I hope you love this carrot as much as I do. Take care. Bye.